Do you really know what's behind reality? Or are you just seeing what they've let you see? What if I told you there are hidden forces that control everything, even your simplest choices? Behind reality, there are ancient laws, powerful, relentless. They don't ask for your permission. They simply act, and ignoring them might be costing you more than you can imagine. Behind everything, there's a code, and it controls absolutely everything. But those who discover it never live the same way again. Are you ready to see what few have the courage to face? Do you really believe you're in control of your life? That everything that happens is the result of your choices? What if I told you there are invisible forces pulling the strings behind your reality? Yes, even right now, as you listen to this message. Most people go through life thinking they're free, but in reality, they're being guided by laws never taught in school, never revealed on TV. These are laws that operate in silence, yet they shape everything, from your bank account to your most intimate relationships. Sounds far-fetched? It's not, because when you understand these laws, you literally learn to hack the universe. Get ready to discover what's been hidden from you all along, the 7 Hermetic Laws. They're not superstition, not cheap philosophy. They're deep codes that govern your mind, your emotions, and your ability to create a life of prosperity and abundance. But heads up, once you see, you can't unsee it. So, are you ready to see what exists behind reality? What if everything you know is just a well-crafted illusion? The world around you might seem solid, predictable, but the truth, it vibrates like an invisible dance of energy. What you see, hear, and feel is just a fraction of what's really happening. There's a hidden layer, silent, that commands the events in your life, an energetic structure that responds to your emotions, thoughts, and intentions. And the craziest part, most people live their entire lives without ever noticing this. When someone begins to understand this hidden mechanism, a new kind of freedom starts to emerge. It's like the stage curtains finally opening, revealing the true director of the show, your mind. We're not talking about magic here or conspiracy theories. We're talking about spirituality with an energy foundation that connects directly to the law of attraction and to how you manifest prosperity and abundance. How you vibrate internally completely changes what you see externally. And this isn't just a figure of speech, it's literal. Think about it. Why do some people seem to attract opportunities, perfect timing, unlikely solutions, while others keep stumbling over the same problems? It's not luck, not bad karma, it's alignment. When you raise your frequency, the world responds differently. It's like changing stations on a radio. You only hear the right song when you tune into the right frequency. And if that's true, then the big question is, what frequency are you broadcasting right now? Because maybe all of this is being governed by forces deeper than you can imagine. In ancient times, when the world was guided more by wisdom than speed, 7 principles emerged that could explain everything that exists. From the visible to the invisible, known as the 7 Hermetic Laws, they were taught by masters who understood the universe as a living mind. These principles aren't just philosophical concepts. They're subtle gears that move life, like secret codes operating behind reality. And if you know how to interpret them, you can completely change the course of your existence. The first is mentalism. Everything is mind. External reality is born from your inner world. The second, correspondence. What's inside reflects what's outside. The third, vibration. Nothing stands still. Everything pulses with energy. The fourth, polarity. Opposites are extremes of the same thing. Love and hate, for example. They're energy siblings. The fifth is rhythm. Everything rises and falls, flows like a tide. The sixth, cause and effect. Nothing happens by chance. Every choice triggers a reaction. And finally, the seventh, gender. Everything has masculine and feminine forces, working in balance to generate life, ideas, movement. Notice how these laws intertwine with everything, from your relationships to your bank account. When you ignore these forces, you live like a boat adrift, waiting for favorable winds. But when you understand the laws governing spirituality and vibrational energy, you start sailing with direction and purpose. These laws are like maps, but they only work for those who are ready to see. And now that you know them, the next step is understanding how they're working in silence behind the scenes of your life. You might not see it, but it's happening right now. The 7 Hermetic Laws are operating behind the scenes of your reality, influencing your choices, your encounters, and even the obstacles that appear in your path. Each thought you nurture, each emotion you feed, activates an invisible gear that moves the pieces of your life. This happens even if you don't believe in them, because these laws don't ask permission, they simply work. And that's why so many people live disconnected from prosperity and abundance, without understanding why. For example, when you mentally repeat, "Nothing ever works out for me," you're planting a cause that will inevitably generate an effect. That's the principle of cause and effect. When you wake up sad and everything seems to go wrong, it's not the universe being cruel. It's the law of correspondence, showing that what's inside reflects outside. If you insist on staying trapped in painful memories or surrounded by people vibrating in fear, your vibrational energy will align with that field. And guess what you start to attract? Situations and people on the same frequency. But the most powerful thing is, once you become aware of this, you can flip the script. If everything vibrates, you can choose to raise your frequency. Trade resentment for gratitude, fear for courage, distraction for presence. It might sound simple, and it is. Practices like daily meditation, writing your thoughts in the morning, or even walking in nature are enough to get started. Gradually, you'll notice that when you change inside, the world outside responds differently, as if the puzzle pieces finally start falling into place. Or maybe you're just beginning to see the whole board. Knowing the universe follows invisible laws is powerful, but applying them is what truly changes lives. From the moment you understand that everything is energy, and that energy responds to your vibration, you stop living on autopilot. You start choosing with awareness. What you think, what you feel, where you place your attention, that's taking the reins. That's living with purpose. It doesn't matter where you are right now. Transformation begins when you decide to raise your frequency, even in the midst of chaos. Want a starting point? Observe your thoughts. Create the habit of asking yourself, what am I cultivating inside? Meditate for 10 minutes, even if your mind is racing. Read books that nourish your spirituality, like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or The Law of Attraction by Esther Hicks. Practice positive affirmations when you wake up. I am prosperous. I am abundant. I am pure energy in motion. These actions are seeds, and when planted with intention, they grow into experiences aligned with who you truly are. You don't need to change everything at once. Start small, a more elevated thought, a more conscious choice, a deeper breath. When you connect with your essence, you activate the energy of creation. Prosperity and abundance aren't privileges for the few, but reflections of those living in harmony with the universe's laws. And if you've made it this far, you're not the same person anymore. Because now, deep down, you know that behind reality there's something much greater, and the key has always been in your hands. Now that you know invisible laws are shaping your reality, what are you going to do about it? Will you keep letting life carry you along, or will you choose to co-create consciously? Because the truth is simple: those who ignore these laws live adrift. But those who learn to use them transform any obstacle into opportunity. Have you ever wondered why certain patterns keep repeating in your life? Why it seems that even with effort, something always pulls you back? Maybe the answer lies right here, in this knowledge that few access, but that you now hold in your hands. So I challenge you, what will be your next conscious choice? And more, which of these laws do you feel you need to work with today? If this message has opened your mind, like it right now, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to keep learning how to raise your frequency and live with more spirituality, vibrational energy, prosperity, and abundance. Comment below which of the 7 laws moved you the most. I really want to know, and don't leave without clicking the video in the description and card. It will go deeper into what you've started here, because this journey is just beginning, and the next step is yours.